Eins, zwei, zwei, action.
Morning, everyone. I'm Bud, the Inquirer's editor-in-chief. And for this month's special inquiry, we are going to be investigating Bangkok and largely Thailand's PM 2.5 problem. We are called the land of smiles. Well, we're not smiling anymore. It's because of this thing called dust, this thing called pollution. And we're going to talk about the cause, the solutions, and what the government is doing about this problem.
Certainly. In northern Thailand, especially Chiang Mai, during the dry seasons, we experience severe air pollution. The mountain behind us has a lot of forest fires in that season, and to make it worse, the fields all behind us does slash and burn farming practices.
The problem is substantial. 1.7 million people, whether it's skin irritation, breathing problems, or cancer, are affected by PM 2.5. Around 200,000 people were hospitalized in Bangkok within 1 week. And tens of thousands of people are admitted by Chiang Mai hospitals because of this pollution. A report by the Health Ministry, around 1.3 million people are affected by this crisis. But the numbers are much, much more than this. PM 2.5, or also known as a particulate matter that are less wide than 2.5 millimeters, are a big problem in this crisis, of course. They penetrate deep into the respiratory system, causing many problems such as lung conditions, infections, or even cardiovascular problems. Officials and experts also say that long-time exposure to PM 2.5 particles, for example, in the average life of a Bangkok person, they will have long-time exposure to PM 2.5 problems, vastly reduces the life expectancy of a person.
Chiang Mai, known for its nature and historical temples, has seen a significant drop in tourism. Before pandemic, there were over 10 million visitors annual per year. But due to the pollution, hotels' occupancy has dropped to low of 45%. That is half of what is expected during the high seasons of Thai New Year holidays and Songkran. Locals and tourists has reported hazy fogs that is so bad that you cannot see the mountains that are near the city, and the sun would become orange.
Slash and burning agriculture, which includes clear-cutting forests and burning them, is a big problem in Thailand because the emissions from these practices create PM 2.5 particles, which is carried by the wind to larger population areas such as Bangkok. Right here, I'm in a park. So, like I said before, PM 2.5 creates a really big health problem overall for all countries, right? And this problem is even bigger for Thailand. Not only does our own farmers practice this form of agriculture, also a large number of Southeast Asian farmers also practice slash and burning agriculture. Although it provides a nutrient-rich layer on the ground for the next season of harvest, this seasonal practice greatly exacerbates the emissions and then the health problems that are brought upon the populations in Thailand and Chiang Mai as a whole. However, the farmers are forced to do this. The government is not subsidizing this. The farmers know that this is a bad practice, but no one's helping them. No one's giving them money in replacement of doing these things because this is the cheapest option and the most efficient one. If no one's paying for them to do other things, they must do this to keep their paychecks, to live paycheck by paycheck. Thank you. All right, I am here at the Victory Monument in the center of Bangkok, basically. As you can see behind me, there are a lot of cars, and the majority of these cars use something called fossil fuels. So what are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are things like dead plants and animals from many, many billions of years ago, right? And what these things do is they propel the engines, they ignite the engines to make the car go forward. However, the problem with fossil fuels is that they create tons of toxic fumes, such as PM 2.5 or greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide, for example. And this contributes to the heating temperature and rising pollution within the air in not only Thailand but all over the world, choking the population. Electric and hybrid car designs offer a solution to this problem. However, mass producing them is a very, very big burden. For example, let me just read this out. You need lithium, nickel, cobalt, manganese, graphite to be able to make a functioning EV car battery. That's a lot of minerals. You need to outsource these things. You have to pay a lot of things. According to JE Power, around 77% of EV cars sold are still in the premium section, which means that we are far from selling them on a commercial level. Thus, yes, we have commercially available EV cars, but you and I are probably not going to get them in a decade or so.
Transboundary haze is a significant issue. Countries like Laos and Myanmar contribute to the haze in northern Thailand, often due to the reason of similar slash and burn farming practices, combined with Thailand's pollution source, making the haze even worse in the area.
As of 2021, pollution has accounted for 21,000 deaths across 31 Thai provinces. Yes, 2021. The number of deaths in 3 years, we're now in 2024 by the way, is definitely much higher than this. Given the severity of the problem, obviously the Thai government is trying to respond to the crisis. The government has issued health advisories urging people to ignore outdoor activities and wear these things, N95 masks, which can protect against the PM 2.5 problem. Nurseries in Bangkok have also set up filtration rooms and no dust rooms to protect the younger generation from inhaling these toxic fumes. Authorities have established checkpoints across many borders and somewhere along the road to control vehicle emissions and try to regulate them. The government is also coordinating with countries like Laos and Myanmar to reduce hotspots and trying to basically curb transboundary haze. Additionally, the government is also encouraging people to limit outdoor activities and choose other forms of transport, such as basically public transport, like the ones behind me, like the buses behind me, and not use private cars because they can contribute a lot more to the emissions globally. These efforts made by the government and by the public, there still is a problem. All right, you're dying for an example, probably. Let's take the sugarcane industry for an example. Let me give you some facts. The sugarcane industry accounts for 1.5 million jobs for Thai people. They also make $1.6 billion a year in revenue. Now, 70% of our sugarcane crop goes to selling it to other ASEAN countries. So yes, it's a very big industry within the Thai economy. But largely, these farmers use the most efficient way, which is slash and burning practices, which is exacerbating, like I said before, exacerbating the PM 2.5 problem. However, the government is not giving any incentives or not giving subsidies in any way. Thus, the farmers have no choice than to do this. It's not like they're doing something that they don't know about. They know it's self-destructive, but the government is not taking any intervention. Thus, they have to continue to be able to make profit, to be able to make ends meet. International cooperation is needed because pollution does not recognize borders. Synchronized meetings, synchronized policies, work and seminars, including talking about agriculture, talking about the policies, talking about cutting vehicle emissions, that is what is important. Because human beings, we are social creatures. We have built a tiny sun, dropped it both, right? We have used the building blocks of the universe to basically generate infinite electricity. So why can't we get dust out of the air, right? The only problem is that we're not talking enough about this. Other things are blinding our vision.